Hello everyone and welcome to Kiru's online lectures. I am Kiraj Jamtani and today's topic is acid, bases and salt. See, in part 1 we have already discussed the introduction of acid, its classification and preparation. Now in part 2, that means in this video, we are going to study about the properties and uses of acid and bases. In part 3 video, we will be discussing the indicators and about the salts. So, physical properties of acid and bases are: acids, these are sour in taste, highly corrosive and they turn blue litmus to red. They also conduct electricity due to the release of H plus ion in aqueous solution. Now similarly, if you look on to bases, they are bitter in taste, highly corrosive, but they turn red litmus to blue. They also conduct electricity due to the release of, we can say, that is OH minus ion in aqueous solution. Coming on to chemical properties of acids. So first is neutralization. In neutralization reaction, acid reacts with base to give salt plus water. We have acid like HCl plus NaOH, it gives what? NaCl plus ये H and OH combine होके it will give H2O. Similarly, we have another example, H2SO4 plus CuO. This Cu and SO4 will combine, so we will get salt, that is CuSO4, and H2 and O will give H2O. So this is first chemical property of acids. Second, reaction of active metal with acids. Now active metal, for example, I have zinc and acid HCl. Again I will take Mg active metal and acid H2SO4. Now here what happens when active metal reacts with acid, they give salt plus hydrogen gas is released. So here we will get salt Zn and Cl2. So this is a salt and this hydrogen gas is released. This hydrogen gas, when it is released, it burns with a popping sound. So when this popping sound comes, it confirms that in this reaction hydrogen gas is released. Thus we say burning with popping sound is the characteristic test of this hydrogen gas. Similarly, Mg and SO4 will get salt MgSO4 plus again hydrogen gas. So if a gas is burned with a popping sound, that means that gas is what? Hydrogen. Third reaction is reaction of chlorides, nitrates, bicarbonates and carbonates with acid. When chlorides react with acid, they form HCl. When nitrates react with acid, they form nitric acid, that is HNO3. And when bicarbonates and carbonates react with acid, they releases carbon dioxide gas. Now there is a test for this carbon dioxide gas. When this gas is passed through lime water, it turns milky. So the milkiness which appears in the lime water is due to the presence of carbon dioxide gas. Now chlorides, let's suppose I have taken NaCl, nitrates I have taken NaNO3, bicarbonates NaHCO3 and carbonates, that is Na2CO3. So when all these will react with acid, so here we will take H2SO4 concentrated, so we will get this sodium and here we will get HSO4, that means NaHSO4 plus HCl. Similarly, NaNO3 if I take, that is nitrate, concentrated, temperature is less than 200 degrees Celsius. Here also we will again get NaHSO4 plus HNO3. Now when we are taking sodium bicarbonate, in that case we take dilute H2SO4. So in this case I'll get Na2SO4 plus H2O plus CO2. In this case, this carbon dioxide gas is released. Similarly, if with bicarbonate I take HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, I'll get Na and the Cl plus H2O plus CO2. So we can see over here the three chemical properties of acids are neutralization, reaction of active metal with acids, and reaction of chlorides, nitrates, bicarbonates and carbonates with acids. So if active metal is reacted with acid, it releases H2 gas, hydrogen gas, which burns with a popping sound. If bicarbonate and carbonate are reacted with acid, it releases carbon dioxide gas, and carbon dioxide gas, it turns lime water milky. Now coming on to chemical properties of bases. We can see over here alkalis, they react with ammonium salts on heating to liberate what? Ammonia. So they liberate ammonia. For example, we have alkali, that is NaOH, sodium hydroxide. It reacts with ammonium salt, that is NH4Cl. So from here Na and Cl will get salt, plus because we have taken ammonium salt, so ammonia will be liberated. Now यहाँ पर एक H बच गया because NH3 is liberated, so that one H and OH will combine, it will form what? H2O. So if ammonia gas is liberated, there comes white dense fumes. These white dense fume indicate that the gas which is released is what? Ammonia. Second property is alkalis react with certain metallic salt solution to form insoluble hydroxides. Like we have alkalis with us, NaOH. It will react with certain metallic salt solution, CuCl2. Similarly, again NaOH. Metallic salt solution, I'll take over here FeCl3. Again NaOH, because base से reaction करानी है alkali से. So here I'll take salt solution ZnSO4, zinc sulfate. Now we'll see over here. Here Na and Cl will combine, so we'll get NaCl plus copper hydroxide. So this means here we are getting blue PPT. This will get this hydroxide in the form of PPT, insoluble hydroxides. Similarly over here sodium and chlorine will combine, sodium chloride plus ferric hydroxide. So the color of this PPT is what? Red brown PPT. Similarly over here sodium and sulfate will combine, we'll get sodium sulfate and zinc hydroxide, ZnOH whole twice. This zinc hydroxide, the color of this zinc hydroxide is white gelatinous PPT. So this is all about the chemical properties of bases. Now we have one ionic theory, we call it as a neutralization theory. What is basically neutralization? Neutralization is basically the process due to which hydrogen ion of acid, that is HCl, we know, hydrogen ion of this acid, that is H plus, reacts completely with the hydroxide ion of base. Let's suppose base is OH. So this H plus completely reacts with this base to give what? Salt and water. So this process is known as neutralization theory, and in this theory basically what happens, ions are formed. As we see, NaOH dissociates into Na plus and OH minus. HCl dissociates into H plus and Cl minus. Now what happens, this H plus and OH minus combines, we get H2O. So during neutralization, H plus ion, or we can say proton, from the acid is neutralized by hydroxide ion from the alkali, and thus a water molecule is formed. So during this reaction, heat is also liberated, and that this heat is known as heat of neutralization, because it is a heat which is liberated in neutralization reaction. So we can say the amount of heat which is liberated when 1 gram equivalent of an acid or base is completely neutralized is known as heat of neutralization. Now there are some uses of acid and bases. Acids, these are used in food preservation, like we use citric acid. These are also used in flavoring drinks, like we use carbonic acid in flavoring drinks like Coca-Cola and all. So carbonic acid is used there. In baking powder, tartaric acid is used, and in cooking we use vinegar, that is acetic acid, and pickling of metals we use HCl. So these are the certain uses of acids which we use in our daily life. Bases, these are used in the manufacture of soaps like sodium hydroxide. In fire extinguishers we use aluminium hydroxides. In removing grease stains from clothes we use ammonium hydroxide. As an antacid we use magnesium hydroxide, and also manufacture of bleaching powder is done by bases only, that is calcium hydroxide. So these are certain uses of acids and bases in our daily life. Now when we talk about these acids, so there comes one more topic, that is acid rain, which we have commonly heard. Now what is this acid rain? Acid rain basically refers to a rain which is acidic in nature. Now what happens, this acid rain is generally a mixture of, we can say, sulfuric acid along with sulfurous acid and nitric acid, that is HNO3, along with nitrous acid. Now how it is caused? So this is basically caused by atmospheric pollutants. It is caused by atmospheric pollutants, we can say SOx and NOx. Now what is the SOx and NOx? So atmospheric pollutants are SO2, SO3 and NO2, NO3. So these are the atmospheric pollutants which mixes with the water vapor in the air and it forms acid. Thus the rain is known as acid rain. Now this acid rain, what does it do? It destroys, or we can say it depletes the soil of the nutrients, increases acidity of the soil, reduces soil fertility. So it also destroys marine life. These all are the, we can say, these all are the drawbacks of the acid rain, that acid rain depletes the soil of nutrients and increases acidity of soil, reduces fertility of the soil, destroys marine life. These are certain disadvantages of acid. Now how this acid rain is basically formed? When we burn fossil fuel, on burning fossil fuel, sulfur dioxide gas is released, that is, we can say sulfur plus oxygen gives sulfur dioxide, and this sulfur dioxide when combines with the water vapor present in the air, it forms sulfurous acid. Sulfur dioxide, this is the one case. sulfur dioxide, it can also be oxidized to sulfur trioxide. Thus again it combines with the water vapor which is present in the air and it forms sulfuric acid. So we can say the acidity in acid rain is basically due to the presence of sulfurous acid and sulfuric acid. Now nitrogen, in our air nitrogen is present, it combines with oxygen at it and it forms nitric oxide at high temperature. Now when these high temperature are achieved, so high temperature is achieved in lightning discharge, in operating of internal combustion engines, so we can get what? Nitric oxide. Now this nitric oxide is oxidized to nitrogen dioxide, and when this nitrogen dioxide reacts with the water vapor which is present in the air, it forms nitrous acid and nitric acid. Thus this is how acid rain is formed. So we can say acidity in the acid rain is due to the presence of sulfurous acid, sulfuric acid, nitrous and nitric acid. So in this part we studied what are the physical and chemical properties of acid and bases, uses of acid and bases, and what is acid rain. Hope you guys are finding videos helpful. So do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.